Hi, this is Ed Rushman for Whitestone Journal, talking about absolutes. In some of the campaign stuff, and it isn't just about politics, obviously, but in some of the campaigns, you'll hear people say, I won't rest until every child is a wanted child, or until, there are no police killings that shouldn't happen, until there is no crime. I don't hear too many saying not. That they'll completely eliminate crime. That's good, because that would be really crazy. But it's good to remember that when somebody promises absolutes, it's not something that's really achievable. I don't know if there's an absolute that is for people, but particularly when you're dealing with things that, there's 300 million people or so in this country alone, 7.5 billion people in the world. To ever say that a particular thing will never happen is to say that no individual human being will ever make that choice. And granted that it's a bad choice, that's just not something that's going to happen unless there's such an oppressive government that it actually restricts the movements and the behavior of every single person down to that level. And there's all kinds of science fiction scenarios where that happens, and you'll notice in every single one of those, it ends up that people aren't controlled and that somebody breaks out of it. And of course, that's usually the hero or something. But still, I think of I won't even start listing off science fiction movies and shows and stuff, because then I'll go into Star Trek or something. But, whenever somebody promises an absolute, it's kind of an indication that they're really just lying. Maybe they're well-intentioned, maybe they're just fooling themselves, but, it's not necessarily a great thing in a person to represent us anyway. But in my own speech, I find that sometimes I speak in more absolute terms than I really should. Things are always this way, or something is never that way, and most of the time we say that, we're wrong. So it's maybe if you do that, think about it and see if that's something that should change. Speaking in absolutes is, there's some absolutes that are true. God is good. And normative things, saying, we should never do this or we should always do that. If we're right, that's reasonable. That's saying this is how it should be. But when we say that we should always love, it doesn't mean that nobody will ever fail. Of course not. It means this is what's good, this is what's perfect, and then we strive toward that, and if we fall short, and we probably will, then we deal with that in whatever way our tradition calls us to. For me, falling short means going to confession, or certainly repenting and asking God for forgiveness and for the strength and the grace to do better. So, a couple of things on absolutes. We move from campaigns and politicians down to ordinary life, and I think we covered some exceptions or special cases. I don't know. Anyway, Ed Rushman, Whitestone Journal. Hope you liked it.